send it out to a few people as well.
We'll have it
Well,
ready.
for our cold open, since this is, I guess, the
Mhm.
cold open phase now, I haven't gone back and listened to like the last couple that
No,
we've done live like this. So, have you done like, for example, last week when I was not sober?
mhm.
What'd you end up using for a cold open?
Oh Lord, I don't remember. I think I was talking about something. I was talking about the I was there, the whole I was there effect with, and I forget exactly what I was referring to. It
I'll
was,
admit I have not gone back and watched or listened to any of it, so
yeah,
I need to. But last week's
yeah,
episode definitely a bit hazy for me.
yeah. Let me tell you something funny that happened to me today.
Please.
So it was really windy, which is why
Yes,
all
it's
that's
been windy as hell, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, anywho, so it was so windy at work. So lately, like the wind has just been pretty aggressive. Like I'll eat lunch, and if the door opens, when because our office is pretty shotgun, we'll go back through it, and I'll be in the break room, which is like shotgun, like the next room in the back, and the wind will blow, and it'll lift up the little foam panels that are on the
Yeah.
ceiling. So today, I'm like sitting at the desk. I'm at the front desk, and then this gust of wind just comes out of nowhere and just blows the door open. And like there's like piles of paper sitting on my desk and they just fly everywhere. It's like it was like Looney Tunes
I
or
was gonna say, yeah, something.
like yeah,
Yeah,
like a cartoon, like if there were a stock video of wind blowing papers everywhere, that would be it.
very slapsticky.
Very slapstick. But the good thing was like a lot of it was like the same copy of stuff, so I just had to like get them all together. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it didn't blow out the candle.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a strong candle, but yeah, it was crazy, but
Hell yeah, yeah. The
yeah,
wind has been whipping around here for sure.
it
I was just
is.
taking a dump earlier
Oh yeah,
today, and just hearing it like whip up against the bathroom window. It's like,
window.
holy shit.
Holy shit, yeah, and I think that's why the Mid City Mall was all shut down and stuff. Yeah, I think there's just been some outages because yeah, it was weird day too. Because like whenever I went to the post office, like I walked out and I just got soaked in this storm that lasted like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
From head to toe, just soaked. Like my clothes had to, I didn't have to take them off or anything, but
yeah.
certainly like had to take
Very
some time
like
to dry.
quick, hard storms, and then it won't rain, and then it'll be sunny, and
Right.
yeah, it's
Not
whack, man.
ideal. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's funky.
I'm getting this link out here to some people. Hopefully, we get a couple to tune in, and if not, fuck them. You
Yeah.
know.
Fuck them. Yep. That's the attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. What else you got before we officially?
No, other than the wild wind, the wild wind around here. Heck,
the,
that's about it.
the wind is wild. Let
Yeah.
me tell you.
Yeah. That's about it. It's just been just a busy ass day. I ultimately kind of thought that was pretty funny with all that wind blowing, but I'm excited about the party on Friday. That's gonna be fun,
Yes,
obviously. Yeah,
yes.
I think.
My final weekend up here in northern Kentucky,
Yeah,
Cincinnati, before moving down to Louisville. And
yep.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I said I should be down there like probably sometime in the evening because my meeting goes until. I mean, I probably won't leave right after my meeting, but maybe. I mean, I'll have to wait until like Rich gets off work, or I guess I could meet up with you. I mean, hell, you're not going to be doing anything that day, are you?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I
Neato.
think that Chris and Katie are probably coming up like around 5 or 6 or something. So,
Gotcha. Go have dinner or something.
but yeah,
Yeah, I'll let you know what the plan is, just because I may. I mean, it just depends on how fast after that meeting I decide to get everything together and go.
hell yeah. All right, let's
Yeah.
do this shit.
All right.
All right. Welcome to the Brainbuster Boys, episode 99. Holy shit.
Yeah.
My name is Brett Jagger, along with Beaumont Rand.
No, it's Big Sue Jackson. Actually, you're wrong.
Who's that Sue
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah.
guy?
You and my birth certificate, they're both wrong.
Yeah, shout out
But
to Big Sue Jackson
shout,
of
shout,
Wrestle Arts Indie.
he is. Yeah, no, I saw him posted something about doing some sort of audio engineering or something,
Hell
some
yeah.
sort of tweet. You know what? Like, if since we're doing a retro episode, which we are. I know it says that in our YouTube description, and I'm sure it'll say that. How we used to have things like the Greg Goldman medal or something like that. Let's start a new one. I'm going to start
Let's do it.
the Sue Jackson tweet of the week. All right, let's see what we got here.
There's a little sound effect for you.
All right.
The SJT of the dub.
SJT of the dub.
And for those not watching, your Bo's name on StreamYard has simply been Sue Jackson since we've been doing this as an homage to one of our favorite wrestlers from Wrestle Arts Indie, which is coming up on Saturday, March 25th. I've actually been meaning to talk to you about that offline, but
yeah.
Are you still able to go to that?
I should be.
It's a Saturday this time. It was a Friday, but Saturday, March 25th.
That would probably work better for me.
Tight. Well, we'll talk offline about it. But yeah, Wrestle Arts Indie. We will be covering it again. Our boy Alex Azar in the chat. Greg Goldman is tight, he says.
Yeah, Greg Goldman is super
I hope he
tight.
calls in. Well, we hope he calls in. We're hoping to have old Greg on the show next week for number 100. Spoiler alert.
Yes,
spoiler alert. Not confirmed. I mean, it's been tough to get a hold of that guy.
Yeah. We'll need to reach out. But
heard he had a bit of a rough Christmas too. I haven't got the whole story about it, but
here's a great. I heard he did too.
Have you literally just been scrolling Twitter to find a tweet?
I have, yeah. Oh wow, so there's a Google bot, not like kind of like a chat FT. Oh fuck, whatever it is. You know, the those AIs that are out now that'll like write a paper for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this tweet, which was 5 days ago, says close bot. But work on the gendering. Also, not a popular musical artist, which is this bot. Someone asked this bot, who is Big Sue Jackson? So, normal stuff here. Big Sue Jackson is a professional wrestler and bully who has been active in the wrestling scene since 2011. She is known for her intimidating size and stern appearance.
Oh, come on.
Fear in the fan and wrestlers alike. She is a graduate of the School of Rock, ROC, and holds the Stepia button on At Odds with Wrestling. Big Sue Jackson is also featured in the Old Wrestling Extravaganza pack from Filsinger Games and is a popular artist on Real 105.1 radio station.
Fuck yeah. So was this, did you type this in or how did
No, he did. And then his response to that as he posted the picture was close, bot, but work on the gendering and also not a popular musical artist.
Oh, is this so were you just scrolling through Big Sue's tweets? Is that okay?
Yes,
I see.
Yes.
Now it's all coming together.
Yeah, it was just something from Big Sue.
Sweet. So I guess the winner of the inaugural Big Sue Jackson tweet of the week is Big Sue Jackson, right?
Yeah. And also, I guess I can do this right now. Do you mean to put who are the Brainbuster Boys into this?
Yeah, might as well. Yeah.
All right. Who are the Brainbuster Boys into this bot? Here we go. And go. Shoot. Hang on. Anywho, what you got? What you got while we ask this robot here?
What you got? What you got? Episode 99 is what I got.
I know it's the future. There are robots and all kinds of crazy stuff. Here we go. All right. This is Perplexity. Perplexity.ai.
Okay.
That is currently finding this. And as it's here we go. The Brainbuster Boys are the hosts of a wrestling podcast. They discuss topics such as Elimination Chamber and Dynamite in their shows described as comedic. So,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Such as Elimination Chamber and Dynamite.
Well, I think they picked it from our last episode. Is exactly what it did. It scrolled through the description. Yeah.
We got Popeye Burger in the chat.
Chat GPT. No, I thought it was. I thought it was. I've been calling it Chat Roulette. You know what it is.
I guess Chat GBT. I feel it's similar concept, right? Or maybe it's that's way more advanced. You could ask it for how to like make hydrochloric acid, and it'll like tell you how to do it step by step. But it'll also be like, be sure you do it with the real chemist and don't fucking burn your hand off. Well, fortunately, we know a real chemist, so
we do. Yeah. So he could help us make many of the different acids.
Yeah. You gotta love it. Well, hey, episode 99, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 99. Very stressful number too. About to like roll over to those 3 digits. What also makes me think of that and like Y2K and all that stuff. When things roll over to that, next 00 thing, it's just pandemonium in some people's eyes. It is a Louisville throwback for sure. Oh man. Lots of pornography.
Well, speaking of Y2K, 1999 was the year that Y2J, Chris Jericho, debuted in WWF.
Yeah, and was Y2J only a WWF thing?
Or so like the way they debuted his character is it was like it was like August of '99 is when he debuted. He came and interrupted The Rock famously, cut this amazing promo, and then The Rock just skewered him. But it was incredible. But like months in advance, they started putting up this clock, and it said like countdown to the millennium, and it would say like 600 hours, X days, or minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
And they would show that like every week for probably over a month, I would say. And then finally the clock hit 0, and then he came out. And you know, a lot of the fans, the smart fans, knew it was him. Like there were people with Jericho signs, but yeah, at the time it was really fucking cool. But yeah, I guess this is it's homage to Chris Jericho now. Fuck.
And I feel like no one's ever written like a retro post-apocalyptic story about if Y2K really happened. Yeah. I think that'd be pretty tight.
Yeah. maybe you should do it.
Oh no, yeah. But actually, now that I got the idea in my head, that sounds fun. I bet people would eat it up. They better.
What was Greg Goldman doing when Y2K happened?
Oh yeah. What were we all doing? You know, that deep trauma scarred within all of us. You know, I remember I was so anxious about that, or I wasn't so anxious about it. I guess I was curious, which I guess there is some degree of anxiety sprinkled in there, but
yeah,
I remember I was where I went to church. I remember asking Neil Bryan, shout out to Neil Bryan, president of Bedford Loan and Deposit Bank, where my checking account still resides.
And
I asked him too. I was like, well, like what's going to happen? And he was like, oh no, the dates are just going to go to 2000. Some people think if the computers switch from a 99 to a 0, if they don't have the 4 things, and they're going to think reset everything and everyone's bank account's going to be gone. He's like, well, that's not going to happen. And it was just like sick. Thank you, Neil Bryan.
How tight would it be if it did though?
Yeah, it would have been like, it would be great.
I remember I was at my buddy Kevin BB's house. We would always go there. Like we were like 10 years old at this point or 11, something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, we were kids and we would go out and bang pots and pans. And I remember like when the year 2000 hit, and it's like banging pots and pans, just like normal. Nothing's different here. Y2K is a hoax.
Your dad bought tons of canned food and water. That's so tight. That's amazing.
That is an Andy Burger thing to do.
Yeah. Oh man.
Azar says, "What's Greg have to say that I'm on the verge of winning the Greg Goldman Cup for the 3rd straight year?"
Yeah.
You'd have to tell us what it is.
Have we had a Greg Goldman Cup before? I feel like
Azar's just he's invented it.
Like what Mario Kart courses are a part of that, of the Greg Goldman Cup. Because you have the flower cup and the the special cup. Yeah.
Pat's Bar, the Subway.
Pat's Bar, the Subway. I guess we got to do something like Los Angeles or something like the apartment with the garbage compactor. Something have to do with garbage, the dump, or no, the sewer. He loves talking about the sewer.
And like Sunset Boulevard or something like that.
Something like that, for sure.
But yeah, it's episode 99, and we're going to wind the clock back just a bit here. And for those who remember the early days, we're going to revisit, or try and remember, I guess, not really revisit, but try and remember one of the first gimmicks we ever did on this show, which was, and it was 1999 when the Phantom Menace came out. Am I correct?
Correctamundo.
So that makes perfect sense here, but we are going to try and remember / revisit our AEW wrestler to Star Wars Phantom Menace Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Mountain Dew can extravaganza.
Yes, and I believe like if you go to our SoundCloud page, the cans are still on there. They're still like the cover image.
As it should be.
So
but that works out that we've finally, how many times have we said, throughout these last 100 episodes or however 90, let's call it, when we stopped doing those, that we got to revisit the cans, we got to do the cans, and
and
here we are on 99. We're gonna do the cans.
And we're gonna do the cans, get that out of the way for good, unless Star Wars does another can promotion.
And then we were just talking before about how we don't really remember them all, or have, obviously they're documented somewhere within our show, but we're certainly not gonna try and go back and listen to that.
Or in a dirty old notebook I got.
Yeah. So we figured it'd be a fun exercise to try and remember those.
Because I'm looking at our Diet Pepsi ones and like Battle Droid. I got no idea. The Battle Droid.
Shit. Oh man. Well, we'll have to find at some point. We'll have to find maybe for 100 we can go back and find them and correct the
Yeah,
mistakes. But
just come out with a list.
yeah,
Yeah, that'll be good enough for you. PDF.
yeah, we're gonna maybe see what's going on the old Turner machine tonight. Again,
Mm-hmm.
kicking back to the early days when we
Mm-hmm.
were, I mean, I guess employed by
Yeah,
Turner,
Turner, wink,
TBS,
wink.
TNT, yeah,
Uh-huh.
all of the above. And just kind of run through some of their programming, see what's on, see what's cooking over there, see what's in the big ticket movies.
Yeah. Just get oh yeah, give it a check because like that's pretty much all they do now. Because did they not? Is Snowpiercer not their final piece of original programming, and they're moving away from,
Yeah, I
I
think it
guess,
might be
any sort of like drama or fictional story thing. It's all going to be reality TV and syndication
in like sports,
and
which
sports.
obviously
Yeah.
like AEW falls into. They have
Yeah.
NBA, they have hockey.
Yeah, so
But
drama
yeah,
is gone, like, because remember their four things were comedy, sports, drama, and reality. So yeah, drama is gone. Hey, Brocast, what's up, bro?
Tom, how are you, mate? From down
How we
under.
doing? How we
Good to have
doing?
you here, brother. Thanks for
Yeah,
tuning in.
for sure.
And Azar says, "Bro, it's TNT. They know drama.
Not
Well,
anymore, apparently.
yeah,
Not anymore. Yeah, well, it sounds like
they
they forgot it.
knew drama."
Yeah. Now they're empty-headed.
We're also going to be bringing back for the first time in quite a while, if you recall. And
Yes.
what better time? It's AEW Revolution season. I guess this week is the go home show. I guess since we're doing the episode today and then we won't be doing another one until after the show, maybe we could fire out some quick predictions for this year's show. However, we're going to kick it back to the original AEW Revolution on Leap Day 2020. Less than 2 weeks before the fucking COVID breakout. It was an interesting time, but we are going to look back on still my favorite AEW match of all time. Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page against the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And you had never seen it before until about an hour ago, right?
Yeah, it was a good one for sure.
Yeah, definitely a good one. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about last week's Dynamite. And like I said, I guess we could go ahead and make some predictions, even though, like, for example, Jack Perry and Christian likely will be made official this week, I assume, but not yet. So we can still kind of pick that one. But the card is pretty much in the shape that it's going to be in. But in addition to that match, Tony always likes to throw on something with Sting or some big multi-man fuckery thing might get added late. But it's obviously going to be a great show.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited.
And beyond that, I don't know. We're just shooting the shit. Maybe we'll look back at some of our old episodes. Like like you said, we're going to do a bit of a retro episode, but we want to save some of the nostalgia for next week. But we don't know what we're doing next week fully. Obviously, we'll be talking about Revolution, hopefully with some special guests. But it's going to be fucking great. I can't believe 99.
Yeah, no, it's
just weird.
Yeah, it is just weird. Pretty wild. Like, it's just kind of, like it's been kind of a somewhat slower crawl through the 90s just because like the Goldman thing that was in Christmas, and that still seems like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's also just come up so quickly, time. Yeah. It goes both fast and slow,
Well, and I feel like 50 doesn't feel too long ago, but like at that point, 100 felt so far away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So and then I guess we're what, like just under 2.5 years, I guess.
Yeah. Did you all ever do stuff for the 100th day of school in elementary school? Ever celebrate that?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can't really pinpoint anything, but yeah, it seems like we may have.
Oh yeah, we did, and it was always like, I guess, math oriented because we had to get count out 100 M&Ms, or it was all sort of like all like treats and candy and celebratory stuff, but it all involved like actualizing or realizing 100 in your head, so yeah, right. Shout out to that.
Maybe we'll count out like 100 jelly beans next week or something.
So yeah, it was that shit about that, yeah. No, we will. I mean, I had said that I was going to make that grid of all of our images, which who knows if I'll get around to it by next week, but I'll try. I'll set it on here. So
you must. Well, hopefully, if anyone out there knows of like an automated way to make something like that with 100 images into one square, let us know, because that's what we're trying to do, is feature a logo with I guess 99 plus 100th section, or however it shakes out.
Yeah. Well, I just found one, so
sick.
Yeah, we're good.
And hopefully we will be having a new logo soon after the 100th episode. So
yes,
and maybe once that happens, maybe we'll finally get T-shirts and merch and all that fun stuff.
All that stuff. It's been a long time.
Yeah. And for those listening on the podcast when it comes out, check us out on YouTube, because we're starting to. Hell, this is what, like our 4th straight episode we've done live.
Yes, sir.
Which wasn't really the intent, but for some reason the recording is incredibly much more clearer, no lag when we do that.
Yeah.
Like, so when JCB and I've been doing the Phoenix Splash, we haven't been going live, and it's been laggy. Like, not like the whole time, but it's kind of shitty. So I'm like, God damn. So maybe we'll start going live soon. But I'll also be in a new internet zone here soon enough. So
yeah. So I wonder what type of internet Addie's got for you to get grandfathered.
Yeah, well, and I guess since I will be living in Louisville, we'll likely be figuring out a way to record in person. So when that happens, we'll have to figure out how we go live. Obviously, we could have like a phone tripod filming us, but we would have to we could figure out the audio. But hey, the future is bright now. And different, and now. Yep. Like you said.
Yes,
Look
sir.
What Azar said. Try the BBB version of that WCW 2000 logo, the ASCII logo.
The ASCII logo. We'll have to maybe get Rich to draw it or something like that. That'd be good.
Well, and Bishop had like the ASCII logo type logo.
Oh yeah.
Terrible wrestling takes. I haven't heard from old Bish in a while. I don't know if I know he kind of took a break for a while and came back, but hope you're doing well, Bishop.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well, Bishop. Yeah, remember when I got super drunk on your shows?
Yeah. That was a good time.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the Young Bucks versus Kenny and Hangman, and then
let's do that, because then we could talk about Dynamite and give the Revolution picks after, and I feel like that would be
finish with the cans like we
yeah. Let's do that.
Cool. Well, I know no sound effect right now, but it's time for If You Recall.
All right.
There's your sound effects.
Yeah.
So AEW Revolution 2020 live from the Wintrust Arena, Chicago, Illinois. This was a particularly interesting night for me. Let's just say we were having a good time with some good people, and it was an emotional night. You know, our buddy Dylan was getting ready to move. Just some interesting stuff in the air in the room, that we had like 9 dudes watching this show.
Right. Yeah, so it was a big old time.
Energies were running high, and again, this match is something that, you know, is probably the match I'd been most excited about, and God knows how long, probably since Daniel Bryan made his run up at WrestleMania 30, like that era.
Yeah.
You know, it's the 4 elite guys. You know, they were all together in New Japan, put on All In, came to AEW. Anyone who's listened to this show knows, you know, I was a part of that, loved every second of it, and was just dialed into this shit. So did you watch that little pre-match promo that I sent you as well?
I did. Like, it was weird, because it seemed like less of a wrestling thing and more like an actual sort of sports thing, because it had the narrator who talked like,
so it was part of like their YouTube show, like they did like countdown to Revolution.
Yeah. So. Well, and it seemed a lot more like genuine's maybe not the right word, but like real life, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it did hit on, you know, how they started being the elite, and they traveled together in Japan
and did the top 10 lists in the bus and stuff like that. Yeah, that was all good stuff.
Yeah, so like I wanted you to see that, because obviously you're very familiar with all these guys, but you know, you weren't watching at that time, and I think it just helped kind of add context to the story, which, you know, was so good. And, you know, they showed Hangman's drinking a couple of times, and, you know, that video kind of ended with the interviewer asking, you know, do you trust Hangman, or, you know, can you rely on him, whatever it might be. I can't remember. And Hangman's like, who are you? What kind of question is that? And
what kind of cockamamie stuff is that?
And then basically says like, yes, I do, and then kind of says, no, I can't. But
Yeah.
anyway, really set the tone for the match. The it was the crowd was hot and heavy from the get-go.
Yeah.
And yeah, what'd you think, man? I mean, top to bottom, I think it went just over 30 minutes, like 30 minutes, 10 seconds, something like that. Kenny and Hangman retain the AEW World Tag Team Champions in a wild, wild, emotional matchup.
It was. And like, it has had all those hallmarks of like team matchups, but I feel like this was a lot less of a team matchup and more like just blocked and like with the big spots. It had more of a singles feel, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it had like the high energy, like classic AEW sort of tag team feel. But like, I don't know, I felt like everyone got their chance to sign and everyone was like things just always seemed very centered. It always seemed like there was two guys going one-on-one and less like four guys, just kind of, bouncing off everywhere and being really chaotic. And so that's why I think it had much more of an epic feel. Because if you think like, usually most people's like top matches are always like a singles match. There's like more gravitas to that than a tag team match. And always like the singles titles are, more valued than a tag team title.
Sure.
And I think this was able to take the singles match and just add more drama to it take the tag team match, and add more drama to it by making it have that sort of singles feel to it.
Yeah.
And that was my sort of big takeaway about its sense of greatness.
Yeah. Well, and like you said too, like it wasn't as chaotic. Yes, there were certainly double team moves. I mean, the Young Bucks hitting the Meltzer driver on Hangman on the ramp outside, and that took him out for a while.
Yeah.
There was plenty of it, but like you said, it was a lot more one-on-one based.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot, the Young Bucks kind of early on, or excuse me, Kenny early on, kind of like hesitant. There was the part where he pulled Hangman off when they were outside. He like pulled him off a mat. Like, it's all right, let's just throw him back in the ring. You don't need to overdo it.
Right.
And then like the Bucks kind of snapped a little bit at one point. So like it was all kind of like we're still kind of friends at the beginning, and then eventually a switch flipped.
Yeah,
and
especially with Hangman.
Oh yeah, well he was never wanting to be friendly with any of them.
And he was a little bit more front and center than Kenny was on this too, and he had the whole injury angle that I found out in there. But
yeah, this was his true first star-making performance in AEW, no doubt about. I mean, he got the pin. He
did get the pin, and
right,
he did.
It was all about him, really.
And he did the one-winged angel.
Yep.
And he did like he had in like multiple buckshots.
Yep.
Took huge hits. He took that Meltzer driver pile, that big double team pile driver they did out on the ramp. He took a lot of huge bumps, and it's weird just because usually Kenny's just kind of very much more the center of attention in a lot of these things, especially now. And it was interesting to kind of see him play more of a supporting role. In this,
no doubt. I mean, obviously, all four guys were incredible in this match, but it was truly Hangman's moment, no doubt about it. But I think the moment of the match truly, watching it live the first time and tonight for probably the 10th time, is when the Bucks hit the what they were calling the golden trigger at that point.
Okay.
So it was Kenny and Kota Ibushi had first done that move and called it the golden trigger. So it wasn't even the BTE trigger at the time. So this was essentially them stealing Kenny's move, really rubbing it in the face, and he kicked out at 1. We're fucking 25, 26 minutes into the match here. This could obviously be the finisher, and he kicks out at 1, and the whole crowd just goes fucking nuts.
There's a lot of that too. Like with about the 15-minute mark, there was just lots of just near falls and stuff, and like not too much like weaponry. I guess there was the big table spot.
Yeah, I mean, Hangman put Nick through the table at the very end, which essentially took him out. But yeah, I mean, it was mostly kept in the ring, and when it was out, it wasn't outside very long.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, like it was just, like stayed mostly in ring, a lot of like hot tags and stuff like that. I mean, like there's a lot of hot tags with like Kenny and Hangman, and then the Bucks always do their classic like pin breakup kind of thing.
Yeah, and the Bucks, the Bucks definitely played more the heels, even though none of them were really heels, but the Bucks kind of played it.
Oh
more.
Yeah, I think in terms of like crowd support and stuff, I think people
and they had a couple of moments, and one in particular where like Kenny was trying to tag Hangman. He'd been in there for a while, and one of the Bucks runs around and like grabs Hangman's legs. You know, it was great old school cut the ring off tag team shit from the Bucks for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, also, you know, in that last few minutes after the 1 count, I think, you know, Kenny and Hangman end up doing basically the Young Bucks, their bang for the buck move where they like did a power bomb and then they're both doing all sorts of fucking flips on him.
Yeah.
And then they hit their move, which was the combination V trigger buckshot. And you certainly think it's going to be it then. And Matt kicks out. So it's like, holy shit. So the, you know, 2 huge near falls on both sides there. And then, like you said, Hangman ends up hitting the because Kenny has him up. I think Matt ends up getting out. Hangman tags himself in. You know, he's very adamant, like, I'm going to win this match, motherfucker. Right. Tags himself in. He hits he gets him up for the one-winged angel. Crowd goes berserk, hits it. You think it's going to be it. And no, Nick Jackson from afar with the dive. But then pretty much right after that, Hangman hits the buckshot, puts him down for the win. But man, yeah, this match is it's something else. And in terms of tag matches, I mean, like I said, it's my favorite AEW match of all time. It's one of the best tag team matches of all time, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it was, I mean, excitement level, you know, pretty much like sustained the entire time. Well, what would you say, I guess, what are your top 5 AEW matches of all time? Can you like rattle that off?
I was thinking about it, yeah, because I had actually pulled up on Cage Match. You just pull that up because that's just an easy barometer. So I know 1 and 2. This would be 1, and 2 would be the Bucks again. The Bucks Lucha Bros cage match from All Out 2021. Oh yeah,
that one,
which I know has got to be right up there for you.
Oh,
as well.
Oh yeah, that was excitement personified.
So those 2. Let's see. The both the Hangman Danielson matches are up there. I actually like the second one better. Not the 1 hour draw, but the second one. Kenny and Danielson. That might be number 3. That first 30-minute draw that they had, which was Danielson's first match. I think it was Arthur Ashe the first year.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that was the we were live for that, weren't we? Were we doing a live show for that?
I think we might have been. Yeah.
I believe we were.
Good old Rich popping in, not better than that PWG match with the Bucks and Rick, which is just an insane spot fest that we had found years ago on YouTube, and we were talking about it the other night. But they might be a little bit better. It was from like 2016 or 2017. I think the Lucha Bros were in it, the Bucks, and it was like Ricochet and either Ospreay or Matt. It might have been Matt Sydal. But you want flippy shit. That was
that's
20 minutes of insane flippiness. I'd have to dig that one up. Rich and he brought it up the other night, and I hadn't thought about that match in a while, but it's some wild shit for sure. Kenny and Pac, which they referenced that match on commentary. They'd had like a 30-minute Iron Man match right before this pay-per-view. That was amazing. And QT Paul White around it. That's definitely your top match.
Oh, it is. What was that, like the popcorn match on what show? Because remember, we forgot about it. We were like, it's All Out or
I think it was All Out, the same one with that Bucks Lucha Bros. Let's see. I'm just pulling up other Hangman Kenny when Hangman won the title was obviously great. Cody and Dustin from the very first Double or Nothing was amazing. Dustin fucking bled buckets.
Oh wow! Like Evil Uno this week. That was gross.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
I know another one that's up there and got to be a top for you is the acclaimed Swerve in Our Glory from All Out this past year.
Yeah, that was another banger.
In terms of women's matches, Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm from Full Gear last year. Watched that at your house. And then the original Britt Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
And then
there's the Elite and the Death Tron. Did you mention that one yet? The one that was from that same show? Full Gear?
Oh, no. Yeah, that's definitely a great one as well. But I would say top 3 would be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks, Lucha Bros in the Cage 2. Then I would go probably Kenny and Danielson 3, and then probably Danielson and Hangman, and then shit, maybe Kenny and Hangman maybe there, but yeah, there's a bunch that I would say the top 3 are pretty for sure, and then there's probably a bunch that could kind of,
but they all involve pretty much the same people, you know, like you know, like just a
Kenny,
different combination.
Danielson, Hangman, yeah, you're right.
Not Moxley, interestingly enough.
Yeah. I mean, he's I feel like he's more in like the 4.25, 4.5 star range always, but he's just so consistent.
He is
and
consistent.
He's always there, and he's always such an important part of the show.
He's less about excitement and more about drama.
Yeah, like less about like, I mean, not that his matches aren't good because they're great, but like, you know, he's usually not in these epic classics, you know, 35-minute 5-star matches. You know, it's just kind of a different style. But yeah, an interesting note there. My favorite Mox match would probably be the Wheeler Yuta match from early last year when he just beat him to a fucking pulp.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's right before he joined Blackpool, right?
Yeah, that was basically like his initiation, kind of. Yeah. I think it was on Rampage too. But yeah, and then I mean, Mox and Omega had the Lights Out match at Full Gear 2019 that I don't think you've seen that one. It's like 38 minutes. You want to talk about weaponry, they use it all in that one.
Yeah, very violent.
And then Mox, you know, like he's been a part of some like that Anarchy in the Arena last year was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, where they kept playing the music over and over again. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say some of Moxley's best matches recently have come in New Japan too. Like probably a 5-star match of his off the top of my head was with Ishii in the 2019 G1.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite Moxley match, like in just in terms of a pure match.
Yeah.
And that was the first time he was in Japan, so it was all fresh. Again, it was right before COVID. So, but yeah, that's an interesting point. But yeah, I mean, Moxley and Hangman are definitely my 2 favorites. With you know, Kenny's got to be in there, but he's, you know, he was not around for a while, and you know, I don't like him quite as much as I did when he was in New Japan. But yeah, and Danielson's been awesome. Obviously, MJF, you know, is incredible, but he's not going to be mentioned too much because he doesn't wrestle a ton. But you know, I bet the Iron Man match is likely going to be, I would hope, pretty well regarded. But
yeah, I think they have a lot going into that. You know, especially for him and his reign. You know, they want it to be probably maybe a little bit more about more like words, bigger than just his promos.
Yes,
you know,
for sure. I mean, and I'd mentioned he went like 40 minutes with Punk the first match on Dynamite in Chicago, and then the dog collar match was like 30. You know, I have no doubt that he can do it and that it'll be great. But I mean, MJF Punk dog collar is definitely his best match for sure. MJF's, I mean, but I think this Danielson one could top it. But
yeah,
well, since you asked me the question, and I think obviously we've named a bunch of them, but what would you say would be your top 3 to 5?
I would say because this one hasn't had enough time to really sink in.
And obviously you weren't watching at the time.
Yeah,
so it's not quite the same level of investment.
Yeah, I'm not. So yeah, I have a hard time not including it. I would say probably the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks is probably the best. It's probably the most just 100% invested in the moment I've been during one of these. I'll say this maybe not so much as a match, but a moment. But Hangman beating Kenny finally.
Yeah,
you know that had that. They really nailed that moment, and that was sort of the apex, I think, of where they were going.
And hit watch.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, and all that. You know, that was really good. What else was there? You know, I also want to like maybe deep like reaching a Forbidden Door, that Orange and Osprey match.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
That I really loved.
That's
I don't
definitely
know if
up there for me.
Yeah. I don't know if it's number 3, but yeah, I would like to kind of sit that in there.
Yeah. And, speaking of the devil with Orange and Osprey, my boy JCB, who was sitting right next to me during that show, agrees. Lucha Bros Young Bucks was off the chain. And yeah, I've said it and you just said it. Like that's definitely the most excited into a match I've seen you.
Yeah.
And then I would say the other two, at least that I would gather just from watching with you, which I of course haven't watched everything with you, but the pay-per-views we've watched almost all of them together.
Right. Oh yeah.
But we've already mentioned them both, but Acclaimed, Swerve in Our Glory from All Out last year. And then the first trios tournament, or first of the 7, I guess it ended up being Death Triangle versus the Elite from Full Gear this year.
Exactly.
Those would be the 3 that in my mind that like at least me and you and whoever we were watching with were like dialed into more than anything. Well, and then of course Hangman and Kenny. I mean, I fucking cried like a little baby after.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a night that's still probably my favorite show. Full Gear 21.
Oh yeah, and I throw that Danielson and Kenny that one in whatchamajig, the one that went the entire 30 minutes to draw. Yeah,
that was just so good.
Yeah, and like very unexpected for them to like take it all the way there too.
Yeah,
you know,
man. Hopefully we get to see that match again.
Yeah, no, that one was. Yeah, I mean, we shall see.
Yeah. Well, shall we roll into Dynamite? Do we want to do? I know you didn't send it yet, but do we got a Manscaped to read? We want to sneak.
We do.
In here?
I did send it to you.
Oh, you did? Shit.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it. My bad.
I believe so. No, it's all good. I was actually just scrolling through Cage Match. I was scrolling through Cage Match here to see if there's anything that I had forgotten.
Oh yeah.
You know, out of all these, and I wish there's one. I wish there's a way I could filter it for all AEW matches, but alas.
Yeah, there is a way, but yeah, we'll find another time for it.
Yeah.
Oh, Dylan from the World Elite, what up, baby?
Hey,
thanks for tuning in, brother.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah. I think we're doing.
Oh, Azar's not wrong here. Hangman Kenny Full Gear 2020 flying under the radar, which that was your first pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, that. Well, what else?
It was the opener. That was the opener. It was the finals of the Eliminator tournament, which then Kenny won and ended up beating Mox famously. Hit watch. But yeah, that match is underrated. I mean, I think it's like 15, 16 minutes, but I remember watching it again before they had their title match, maybe one other time, but yeah, they go to battle and it is excellent. And yeah, that we'll have to go back at some point and revisit that show because one, I mean, obviously it was your first show. It was our first episode, and the circumstances of that show. It was the heart of COVID. It was November 2020.
We were outside.
So we had probably like 8 people. We were sitting outside. We brought we brought a TV outside, crisp fall night. We're at 3 blocks from University of Cincinnati's campus. So
right on University Avenue.
Right on University.
Which I've threatened to do backflips now many times.
Many a time.
Yeah,
and be choke slammed through a table inside a glass table.
Oh God, is that gonna have to? Is that gonna have to happen at some point?
No. But anyway, so we were sitting outside, and there was also, I guess UC had a football game, but then Clemson and Notre Dame were playing that night, which was like a big game.
Oh, and remember the fight?
Yeah, and all these people were walking by all night, like, why aren't you at the football game on? And we're like, this is the real game here, motherfucker. But yeah, there was an actual fight that broke out. I don't know if there were
no, between a guy and a girl.
Yeah, it was like no punches thrown, but a big scuffle.
It was co-ed.
Yeah,
it was what do they call it whenever men and women? It's mixed.
Yeah, it was a mixed tag or intergender.
Intergender, yeah.
I can't, but this dude was like really talking down to this girl or something. It was not great. And there's like a scuffle. I mean, this was happening, 25 feet behind where we're sitting?
Yeah. They were just not giving a fuck. No, that was.
And it might have been during the, I can't remember what they called the match, but it was Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara, and they had it at the Hardy compound.
Oh, the extreme deletion or whatever it was. Yeah.
When Gangrel
deletion or something. Yeah.
It wasn't the final deletion because that was the original, but it was something like that. But Gangrel debuted. That blew my mind. Yeah, that was a very fun night indeed. What was? Oh, the main event was what? Moxley and Kingston.
In Kingston, yeah, it was. It was an I Quit match.
Yeah,
something like that.
Very, very good show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay. So I got this up. Do we want to do spring cleaning here?
Or no, I think we did that last week. Oh yeah, the USA Beard Spring Cleaning Copy 2.0.
Yeah, we didn't do that, did we?
Nope, we did. Well,
Okay.
we haven't done that. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
I've got some nice underwear here.
Okay.
Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped have the best tools for some spring cleaning. Well, as you know, they've already helped tidy you. They've already helped you tidy up
your whiteys, yeah.
all the nooks and crannies of your body's basement. But this year, Manscaped can help. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Manscaped can help you get the perfect presentation on that beautiful face with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Make sure you look your best this spring by using the code BBB to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Why don't you tell them more?
All right, it's time to tame your mane with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The sun is peeking back out. Peak like PEAK, like the sun's not peaking.
Yeah.
The sun's just peaked. It's just on the way down. It's about to become a red giant in days. And then a white dwarf, which means you'll have to show your face in the daylight again. Oh. So use the kit to make sure your scruff looks award-winning, whether you got glorious beard flow or some smooth, sleek cheeks like me. The kit starts off with Beard Hedger, a waterproof cordless trimmer with a rotary reel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths.
You hear that shit?
All with one guard, so no more messy drawers and add-ons. When I think of a rotary reel, I think of something really old school. But
it's this little wheel here. You just twist it. Yeah.
Yeah, rotary club.
Yeah.
It also comes with titanium-coated T-blades that are tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Beard Hedger is a high-tech piece of art in a travel-size package with a long-lasting battery, universal charging, and a strong motor. And then next, the kit's got the liquid goods to make you feel good, starting with the beard shampoo and conditioner. You can't treat your beard like you treat your pubes. No, you can't. Yes, you can. That's why the kit has a special shampoo and conditioner specifically designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, and replenish your beard's natural oils and promote beard health. And the Pro Kit's also got Manscaped's beard oil. The nutrient-influenced oil relieves dryness both on the beard and the skin beneath, while still adding a little shimmer and shine to liven up the look. And cap it off with the beard balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, and moisturizes, bringing...
You gotta love a nice balm.
Yeah. Bringing the amazing scent of fresh eucalyptus, rosemary, and lavender essential oils. So you're going to have your beard,
lavender, baby.
Yeah, you want your beard smelling like a spice cabinet? Do this. Not to mention, the Beard Hedger Pro Beard Kit also comes with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. And another thing that I'm going to have to put in our information, but they have a Weed Whacker 2.0 coming out. I don't know if it's 100% available now.
Ears and nose hair trimmer.
Yeah. If your ears and nose hairs are sticking out really, really far, and you don't know what to do about them, then
get the Weed Whacker.
Yeah, you should buy this whenever it becomes available. But it may not be available yet. But calls to action.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Save 20% off and free shipping with the code BBB at manscaped.com. That's 20% off. Free shipping with the code BBB at manscaped.com. Focus on the face and use the Beard Hedger Pro Kit for the cleanest look in the game. Your balls, your face will thank you.
Ace.
I bet your balls will too.
Ace Perry.
Ace Perry. He's tight. Yeah. You mentioned Spice Cabinet. What does Charles Dickens keep in his Spice Cabinet?
I wonder if season 2 is launched in that show.
We'll just leave that at that. But that's a fun inside joke here. But JCB, this Manscaped copy has me laughing my ass off. I'm a big ass kid, but this is too damn funny. Yeah, it's fun and tough to get through without laughing because we like to have fun with it. But the fine folks at Manscaped always writing the slickest, smoothest copy. You better believe it. And Azar says 2.0 just in time for the pube fair in Fort Collins. Scott Tenorman was hyping up $5 a hair. Shit. Well, AEW Dynamite. I need to pop her on up here, but yeah, I'd say this was a better show than the previous weeks, which was a definite down show
Yeah,
from what had been like a string of three or
yeah,
four in a row that were excellent.
yeah. I just think all the storylines are already in place, and they've been in place for like a couple months. So I think we're just kind of, like I think the feeling is we've been just kind of treading water, and like sometimes, we've been treading water well, and other times we've been drowning and need a lifeguard.
Yes, yes. But yeah, 1 week before the go home show here, where were they? Phoenix, Arizona, their first
All the way to
their
Tacoma.
debut in Phoenix at the Footprint Center.
Is
What
that
do you
where
think about
is that
that?
where the Suns play? Is that what that's
I
called now?
I
It's
let's
it's
look it
all
up.
it's always named after I think it was Talking Stick or something like that.
I do remember that.
Event
The
venue.
Footprint Center yes, it does appear to be Phoenix
The
Suns.
Suns and the I guess the Coyotes or the Arizona Coyotes, don't they play at like a really tiny don't they play like Arizona State's hockey stadium
I'm not even
or arena?
sure.
I think they do. Like or one hockey team does for some reason. Anyhow.
Yeah. Rich says, I heard they have great chili there. What, at the Footprint Center? That'd
Oh
be
no,
tight.
yeah, at the Scott Tinnerman murder your
Oh,
parents.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Nick from the UW pod. What up, playa?
Hi,
Thanks.
Nikki.
Thanks for tuning in, baby. But yeah, Footprint Center, funny name. And this one kicked off with a bang, I'd say. Match of the night easily, which saw Orange Cassidy defeat Wheeler Yuta in 16 minutes, 51 seconds to retain the AEW All Atlantic Championship. This is how you start a show.
Oh, yeah. And this is the stuff that kind of like belongs here at this point because like I guess Orange isn't going to be like defending that at like Revolution and stuff. So like yeah, get them like, good matches here. I imagine maybe he'll do like some pre-show stuff. I feel like he's been
Yeah,
a
I
big
don't think
pre-show guy.
anything's been announced. I know it was just announced maybe today. He's got your boy Big Bill this Wednesday in another title defense. I like that
Wow.
they've been trotting him out there. Like he's been defending this belt a lot. So
Yeah, he is.
and they've all been pretty good matches.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
say,
yeah. No, he's definitely like kind of like been the legitimizing force for it, I think, and that's like really just good for him. Just a really good place for him to be right now.
Holy
But
shit.
yeah, no, I thought this was exciting.
He has more title defenses than I thought.
How many?
Looks like 12.
Wow, and he won it like I mean, he
Holy
said it for what
shit.
like
139 days. He won it from
wow.
Pac on December 10th on Dynamite. And then, yeah, wow. I would have guessed like 7. But yeah,
Wow.
he defeated Roosh and 10 in a triple threat, Luchasaurus and Phoenix in a triple threat, Shibata, Lee Johnson, Jake Hager, your boy QT Marshall in a
Yes.
lumberjack match on Rampage, Trent Seven. You may not even know who that
No.
is.
I mean, I know I'm familiar with Trent's 1 through 6, but 7's lost on me.
Trent Beretta,
Mhm.
Kick Sabian,
Yeah.
Jay Lethal, Lee Moriarty, and Wheeler Yuta. Yeah, wow. None on pay-per-view. Well, there hasn't been, or no, there was. No, okay, so it was October 12th. I'm sorry, I fucked up the dates. So there was Full Gear. He didn't defend it there, but wow, 12 fucking title defenses. How about that shit?
Oh, that's impressive.
This is definitely the best match of the bunch. I thought this was awesome, man.
Yeah, I did too. Like a lot of good story with him too. I guess I had kind of forgotten that Wheeler Yuta was kind of
came up with the best friends,
yeah,
but he was kind of a non-factor really till he joined the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah. So. Well, and like the humor too, like he did his hands in the pocket thing. It wasn't at the beginning of the match. Like the match just kind of stayed like fast, and the comedy just kind of was in the periphery.
It was just like trickled. It was trickled in throughout.
It was, yeah, and I think that was that was to the benefit of it.
Yeah, I think like Yuta was like slapping him or something, and then he started doing the little kicks, and it's like, God damn it, you son of a bitch, like yeah, I liked it like that too. Not just in the beginning was you're kind of accustomed to, but
yeah, and then they had the Blackpool Combat Club drama whenever like Cesaro and then that coming out.
That was fucking tight. Just slapped his ass and
just kind of give him the tough love.
Yeah. I just thought there were so many great counters. It was so smooth. We had the big kick out of the orange punch at the end, the beach break at the end, and then did he like spit on him? Did he give him one of those?
He did. Yeah. I think someone was like, that's a loogie. No, it wasn't JR. It wasn't JR. I don't know why. gave the heavy implication that it was. It was
that's a loogie.
Speaking of, like just to hop back to the Revolution 2020 match, it was nice hearing kind of JR not in sort of like a, getting names wrong and stuff like that, kind of like you last heard him, before they kind of sidelined him a little bit. He in 2020 was definitely still, not maybe on top of his game, but still in good shape.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this action, like you said, it started out fast, never really let down. Both guys looked fucking great. I mean, some people like online are complaining, like, why do you have the champion lose? It's like, he's ROH pure champ. Yeah, that's great. But it's not that big of a deal to lose another title match, I don't feel.
Exactly. Yeah. And especially one that's like not ROH,
Yeah.
Like it'd be one thing, yeah.
Speaking of which, so ROH did their first TV tapings, which I think are going to air like this Thursday, maybe on the Honor Club. I think they taped like at least a few weeks because they've got a pay-per-view like end of March. But apparently, and I don't know if this is going to happen at Supercard of Honor, which is the pay-per-view. Apparently, I did not see a direct spoiler, but kind of putting breadcrumbs together. Wheeler Yuta called out Mr. Katsuyori Shibata, who we have not seen since the Orange Cassidy match. So buckle the fuck up there if that's going to happen. Holy shit.
Seat and belt buckle.
Yeah. Both. So, yeah, I mean, even though, so if Wheeler loses this match, I mean, he's going to wrestle Shibata. And fuck, I'd love to see Shibata win. I mean, I get, he's on the comeback trail and he's not wrestling, too frequently. But, man, sometimes the motherfucker's got to get a W.
Is he having a lot of matches in New Japan? Because wasn't the AEW match his first match back in a while?
Yeah. He hadn't had any. So he did
since the Sub-Zero Matoma, right?
Yeah, he did Wrestle Kingdom last year, was like his first full match back. Then he did the Orange match. Then he wrestled Tom Lawler in Japan, but it was some like benefit show or something. It wasn't even affiliated with New Japan. And that, to my knowledge, that's the only match he's had since the Orange match. So,
wow.
So yeah, I mean, it's a big deal if he's gonna strap up the boots. So we'll be keeping our eye on that. I mean, I'm gonna try. Tom, high five, Tom. Shout out to our boy. We love you. He's got the Honor Club, which I'm gonna try and watch some of it on there. And I know, like, I mean, from what I've seen, it sounds pretty interesting. Like the matches that happen, what's been announced. So I'll at least definitely give it a go. I mean, fuck, there's so much wrestling out there, and I'm having trouble keeping up with it all. But hey, we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Keep it up.
But yeah, this match was great. Anything else that kind of stuck out to you from it?
Not in particular. I mean, like I said, I thought this was a great way to kick off the show and a great way to showcase these two guys. And, like I said earlier, I feel like the card and the storylines for this have already kind of been settled for a long time. So I think like this is totally deserving of a spot like this, something that hasn't been front and center. Like, let it be front and center in something like this. You don't need, other matches and stuff like that or other buildup. Like we've had a lot of it, I think.
Yep. And then one thing, Orange did try and hug old Wheeler after the match, but Claudio wouldn't let him and took him back. Then there was a brief little Hangman interview back there saying, Evil Uno basically saying, hey, I don't want you to come out. I'm going to do this on my own. You're going to find out exactly why I'm Evil Uno. You know what? I liked Evil Uno in this spot. I mean, we saw last week or a couple weeks ago, whenever it was, when he kind of face palmed Mox and, really stood up for himself and said, like, you know what? Hey, we're Dark Order. We're tough motherfuckers too, bitch.
Well, and one thing I did like about this too that added an extra layer of intrigue was like Hangman's kind of silent condescension. Because he was so, like, Hangman clearly thinks he's better than them. Like not in a very like obvious way, but like, it comes across like
in his actions, facial expressions.
He's being very patronizing.
Yes.
To them. And I think that does add a layer of intrigue and like, especially to his match versus Mox too. Like, is Dark Order gonna, kind of stop giving a fuck, especially,
And that's going to be an interesting one with
nice
Mox
wrinkle
having 2 wins and Hangman having 1. But I mean, this is the final chapter, so to speak. We'll get to the predictions here in a bit. But so then we had this Ricky Starks Jericho segment, which I kind of thought was pretty whack, if you ask me.
Yeah, just with the pin and stuff, like you kind of knew.
Well,
It
I
was already
liked
gonna,
that because that was a throwback to WWE days when he would do the list of Jericho gimmick. Like that was like the one part I did like. But I just thought like them playing this off as Ricky Starks like getting one up on him and like goading him into this match. It was just very like schoolyard kind of bullshit.
No, I don't think Ricky Starks really said anything that really like, scratches an itch or,
it
pours
was just
salt in
like
a wound or
Jericho's
anything
like,
like
I'm
that.
better than you. Yeah, you beat me once, but I'm better than you, and this match ain't gonna happen.
Well, and I remember like I don't know if I was just tired because I was watching it last night, but I remember like I think when Jericho was like at a peak for yelling, for some reason I thought he was like saying "You're gonna beat me" or something like that. Like I think he was like saying like I was like, why are you talking about like losing this match? Like dude.
So yeah, Stark says he's got this open challenge. Jericho says he's not going to do it. So out comes pretty Peter Avalon.
Oh, that was
God love him of the Wingmen, and then he gets eaten with a Judas effect, and he goes down. So now that match is going to happen this Wednesday. We got Chris Jericho versus Pretty Peter Avalon, but hey, I'm happy for Pretty Pete to get some TV time.
What if he gets the win? If he like some interference or something like that.
That'd be fucking
tight.
That
would be so tight. Well, didn't Chris Jericho? Who's the jobber that he lost to?
Action Andretti, baby.
Action Andretti. Yeah.
Which he had a pretty nice match with Sammy on Rampage this past week. Yeah. Everything I've seen of that kid, I mean, the guy could fucking wrestle. That's for sure. So yeah. Anywho, yeah, I just thought this was pretty lame. It's like he said he's not going to do it, and then Starks was just kind of goading him into it, like, yeah, you beat two legends in the same night. He was referencing The Rock and Stone Cold back in 2001. Basically, it was just a whole big reverse psychology thing. And then he's like, okay, we're going to have the match. I just thought this was pretty...
And Jericho's kind of above that, I think.
For two guys that are so good at promos, typically, I mean, Jericho at this point in his career, can kind of be hit and miss, but Starks is great. Like, this should have been better than this.
Yeah.
And really, the whole build to this has kind of been lame. I mean, obviously, they had the match. Starks won. Yeah, if they're going to do a pay-per-view match, you could. I just thought this was a pretty weak way to do it. They had the whole Guevara-Garcia gauntlet, which was kind of dumb. And
I mean, the Inner Circle, like, if you just think about it, is just far superior to the Jazz. The Jazz is kind of funny. But, yeah, I mean, if you take a look at, like, his stable work,
for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, Inner Circle is kind of foundational. It's kind of hard to compare. But like, the Jazz stuff is a lot more antics. The Inner Circle stuff is a little more serious.
For sure. Good point. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure the match will be good. I think I went 4 stars on their first one. Definitely enjoyed it. But yeah, I just think the build has been pretty whack.
Yep, wacko.
And then we had the Acclaimed against your boy Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. First match after losing the tag titles, and they won it pretty easily here.
They did.
8 minutes. Nothing too much to write home about here. Big Bill and Moriarty have kind of been pretty jobbery. I mean, I really like Moriarty, and I think he's definitely got a bright future. And I mean, he's had some great performances that we've seen, but he's obviously not really been put in that big position yet. And Big Bill's Big Bill.
Yeah, he is. How did Big Bill become my guy? I don't know if I remember declaring that.
Well, no, he just kind of fits the mold of just the big, lumbering guys.
Doofuses.
Yeah, not really good and just kind of there.
Like the Paul White lineage.
Yeah, it's really just all stemming from that.
Yeah.
And because of Big Bill's Hell or whatever. Right?
Oh, Big Bill Hells. Yeah,
Big Bill Hells. Yeah.
Great video.
Yeah. And then we had Christian come out, and we referenced this a bit earlier, but yeah, he had made his return the week prior, attacking Jungle Boy again. They've got unfinished business, and Jungle Boy comes out here with some chairs, but Christian low blows him, and then he hits him with the chair. I think, was he bleeding? Yeah, Jungle Boy was bleeding, and yeah. That's that. I wonder if we're maybe going to have a chairs match at the pay-per-view.
Where's Luchasaurus? Is he like injured or something? Or
he's maybe just been off. I mean, I don't think we've really seen him much since they had that cage match, which was Full Gear last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, Christian has been hurt, and I just don't think he's really been used. I mean, it's just another victim of this still way too big roster, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think these two really, Christian and Jungle Boy, really haven't had a proper match yet because they had the one where like Christian pretty much just like rolled him up and pinned him right away. So I think it should be a good match. I mean, hell, we haven't really seen heel Christian in a match yet. There's like maybe a few like smaller ones, but like
not a
he's
big
pretty much
pay-per-view.
Been hurt since he kind of turned for the most part. But remember, he was cutting some pretty damn good promos at the end, some good heel promos at the end of last year. But and Jungle Boy always comes to play when the lights are on. So yeah, I think it should be good. I mean, it's guys we haven't really seen a ton of lately. So and excuse me. And then we had Saraya versus Sky Blue, which, you know, short match, but Sky Blue is always impressive when she goes out there. I think, you know, she's starting to get a little bit more TV time here and there. And, you know, I think she's someone that's going to have a little bit of a bright future here later this year. But, you know, the heels, I think Tony Storm helped again here. But this has all kind of been building towards, well, now we know it's not going to be this like 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 or whatever at the pay-per-view, but it's going to be Jamie versus Saraya versus Ruby Soho in a triple threat match. So that's something different. I don't think we've had like a big women's triple threat, especially not at a pay-per-view. And at least now we know, all right, this is happening. And then from here we can kind of do the team stuff. And I just hope and pray that my girl Jamie holds on to it and they don't flop it over to Saraya.
Yeah, I hope so too. I feel like she, I mean, hasn't like what's been her big title defenses, you know?
Yeah, she had the Sheeta one that was really the Sheeta one was really good. I don't even remember what other ones she's had. You know, there was that match against the Bunny that was just the one where Bunny got hurt. That was just an eliminator match. I'm pulling it up right now. I mean, the win against Tony and the defense against Sheeta were both amazing.
Yeah, and I still think she needs another good one. You know?
That's her only. That's the only actual title defense is the match against Sheeta. So
wow,
because she's wrestled more, but just not for. I mean, she's had the belt since November 19th. Defended it last December 21st. So yeah, it's been over 2 months, which is interesting to look at compared to Orange, who's defended it, like we said, 12 times.
He's been a TV boy. Yeah, I wonder why they've been kind of so hesitant with her. You know, because she's not like a heel or anything. You know?
I mean, her and Britt have almost kind of organically turned face through all this. I mean, she's had a presence for sure. I mean, they've been doing some tag stuff. Her and Britt have been out there every week mixing it up with, you know, the outsiders, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, I guess this is like the only real like build that they've had, you know, because they could have done like a Tony rematch, but they got her with Saraya.
Yeah.
So now I think, you know, it just took us a while to get there.
Yeah, like, for sure. But yeah, I think it should be good, and just I hope Jamie retains because she needs to have a nice long run. And yeah, I'd like to see some more singles defenses. And I mean, at some point, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon now, but there's still going to be money with her and Britt, you know, like whenever they're going to split those two up, which you know, maybe late this year, maybe for like Full Gear or something, maybe after Jamie loses the belt, you know, who knows? But that's definitely something that's going to be coming down the pike at some point. So then we had our MJF and Bryan Danielson time, which was started out a little interesting with MJF when he came out, basically saying that he and his fiance have split up, which is in fact true.
So it's confirmed because I was looking it up last night and like it was still in like rumor stage, but
yeah, I think like, which it's interesting that like wrestling reporters are reporting on this, but I guess when you say that on TV, you know, people are gonna. I think it was Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful.
Yeah, that was the one I saw too. Yeah, so, yeah, I didn't know if it was a full blown.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But it seems that it's real.
Smoke, there's fire, you know.
And then basically said that, you know, the AEW World Championship is the only thing stopping him from grabbing some pills and calling it a day. It's like, oh shit. It's like, kind of like babyface style sympathy there, but delivering it like an asshole heel.
Well,
So
it's kind of back what he was doing before the Moxley match. It
yeah,
was kind of that somewhat sympathizing stuff, but still heel.
when Staves was watching it with me, and we're like, "What is like? This is very weird. What was going on?" But then the moment he turned it and basically like, you got hurt and you're doing this again, and you're taking this for granted that you're able to come back and wrestle, and
Yeah.
talking about his concussions and seizures, and he said, "You're still in my sport." And then he said, when you're in the ring, wrestling is more important than your family, basically
Hmm.
saying that he's putting it above his family because he
Yeah.
could get seriously hurt. And then he like looks into the camera and uses his kids' names, Birdie and Buddy.
Yeah.
And he says he'll kick the shit out of him. He'll make daddy pay for his selfishness and make sure daddy will never play with them again. And he kept saying Dada.
Da.
I'll make sure Dada can't pick you up again.
Do you think like he's like his edginess, because this reminds me of the promo that he did wherever he talked about it was where he's in the locker room after the match where he talked about like the girlfriend in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Yeah,
Kind of going to that like scorched earth mode where he's
for
just
sure.
being just ultimate mean. I think like it's good. I think he doesn't have too many of those to use, because if he can't kind of keeps using that, that's sort of like hitting a wall. And I don't think, like not just hitting a wall, but like he just has more room to do interesting things. So I
Yeah.
like that he's doing that, but I do think like, there's a limit to how much you can do like the I'm pure evil kind of shit.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, then he stepped in the ring and he said he was going to give Dada a gift, early onset CT, and then bonk.
Yeah.
Danielson attacked him.
Yeah.
And then there was the classic officials come from the back and break them up, and then they're able to break through it, and big old fucking brawl there. But yeah, this was a bit interesting to start, but I thought it did come around at the end. I mean, anytime you bring someone's kids into it, and again, I'm sure Danielson was on board with this and everything, but that personal element, definitely helps take it to the next level. And we'll see what happens this week, as we've got just one more opportunity before the match. But yeah, it's going to be, I'm really excited about this, man. I mean, just seeing Danielson in a 1 hour, Iron Man match is going to be awesome. Like, that's his bread and butter, but just to see how this plays out, how many pinfalls it goes, because you've never seen a 60-minute Iron Man, have you?
No, I don't think so. Not like a full blown, like we've never done, if you recall, we've never done like a big 60-minute, if you recall. So
yeah, so basically
yeah,
it's just the most pinfalls or wins, like a DQs and countouts count. So like I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I know it's happened in a match where someone like got themselves disqualified by like just beating the shit out of someone with a chair or whatever, but did it on purpose, because it's like you're fucking them up right now, even though you're going to lose a fall, so to speak. Like it may benefit you in the long. So there's all sorts of strategy that can go into this, and just endurance and everything. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. And Azar says show Bo, Angle, and Lesnar Iron Man. That's one I've seen maybe once. It was on SmackDown.
What? Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Like
they did it
end of
on
the show.
TV.
Wow.
So yeah, I'd definitely be down for that.
What year is it from?
Probably like 03, if I had to
Okay.
guess, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a good call from Azar. That
Interesting.
probably I would say the most famous, because it was the first real big one on big television. Like they used to do 60-minute matches all the time back in the day, but Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12 was kind of the first one that I remember, and it went 0-0 through 60 minutes, and they ended up doing like overtime, and that was Shawn Michaels' first win of the title, and really kind of the whole Montreal screw job and everything kind of happened from that point. But yeah, I can't wait. We'll get into predictions, like I said, here in a bit. And shit, we're still rolling. We had the tag team battle royal, which was very long, I thought.
Yeah. I'd never seen everyone just rush in there like that. Yeah, I was just like, what is this? And like, I was really just kind of like, what am I looking at first?
Broadcast also mentions Brock
Reiterates it.
versus
All right.
Kurt. Yep,
So we got two in the
absolutely.
can there. But yeah, I thought I was just sort of like, what? Like they're not going to have the slow. I guess they don't really have enough time, so they got to run everyone in there. When people started to get eliminated, things got more organized. It was a little easier. But that rush in the beginning was just like, what? Yeah, I was
the
a bit
one this
overwhelmed.
week that they're doing is the casino style, where it's going to be like the 4 at a time that
The
come out.
trickling, yeah, no, that seems a little more wieldy. Because this was I just remember seeing them all there, and I'm like, are they all just going to run in there? And it was like they did.
This went 19 minutes, 2 commercial breaks. It was long, and Jeff Jarrett gets the win. I can't say I saw this coming.
No,
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, I've been very pro Jeff Jarrett of late, so I definitely got a kick out of it, and it makes sense in the fact that yes, they have beef with the Acclaimed. They've challenged the Acclaimed for the belts already, but man, I was really kind of hoping we'd get like 2 fresh teams, like
Lucha Bros.
I mean, I was personally pulling for Aussie Open, even though I knew they had no shot, but just because they're great and they had a really awesome match with
Top Flight would have been tight.
The Young Bucks on Rampage. Top Flight would be great. So we'll see. I mean, obviously we've got one more. So yeah, I guess it'll be tough to kind of predict that match really, since we don't know who the other team is. But like we've said, can't imagine. I mean, I guess they could have the Guns retain. I don't know what the hell's going to happen in this one, man.
It's definitely not a very predictable one. I got to say that, along with the Moxley Hangman one. I don't know. My money's on maybe like the Acclaim getting it back. I don't know.
Oh, one note I do want to say. So FTR, obviously they've been off TV. Dax had said their contracts are up in April. So when like the Wrestling Observer Awards for 2022 came out, and like AEW was posting all the ones that like AEW or wrestlers won, except for Feud of the Year, which was the Briscoes versus FTR, they didn't give FTR any credit. All they did was post a picture of the Briscoes.
They probably aren't happy about that.
Dax tweeted something like, "Tell me you're waiting for April without telling me," or something like that. So of course, all speculation fueled that they might not be coming back, which was kind of already happening anyway. So we'll see on that. But just interesting. So then we have Tony Khan's important announcement. Made by Adam Cole, which was definitely not important, and it was an announcement, but nothing of the sort of not a streaming deal or anything cool that anyone was actually looking forward to. But they've got a new show called AEW All Access that'll be happening after Dynamite, which is going to be like a peek into the real lives of the superstars. And I know
isn't that what being the elite already is?
Well,
I guess I guess I mean there's already access through that, that feels very behind the scenesy, but still in kayfabe, obviously. But
yeah. I mean, I'll check it out. I always like wrestling documentary type stuff. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but yeah, I mean, I don't think this is anything that was really moving the needle for too many people. But I guess Cole did say that he'll be back to the ring that same night the show debuts. I think end of March. I can't remember. So that's cool. Like we've talked about, like it'll be intriguing to see if Cole has any affiliation with the Elite at all. I would guess no. It seems like they're kind of bringing him back fresh, but who he's going to go up against, because his time before the injury was somewhat of a letdown. Like he certainly had his moments, but I think people were expecting more from Adam Cole, and we'll see how it goes.
No less.
And then we have the main event, which there was only about 7 minutes left in the show. I remember looking at my phone like halfway
through it.
It was like 9:56 watching live. I'm like, holy shit. But John Moxley and Evil Uno bleed buckets, and it looked like fucking Evil Uno's blood, like you were wringing out a sponge, and just blood was just.
Oh yeah, it was so gross. Yeah, like it definitely like hit a vein or something like that. Like I was a little concerned, but yeah, I mean, he definitely had some moments and stuff, but it just all served just to piss off Moxley enough,
Yeah.
and then just get his
Moxley
ass
was
beat.
ripping at the mask at one point. I think what led to the bleeding was something with the steps. I mean, obviously it was a blade job, a bad one at that, but um, but yeah, Uno hit a couple of pile drivers, like you said. He got a couple moments in, but he eventually got choked out. But yeah, I mean, for 7 minutes, this was a fun main event for sure.
Exactly.
Wish it got a little bit more time, but again, I think we kind of knew what to expect here. But yeah, and then so yeah, Moxley like held on after, and that brought out Silver and Reynolds. And then that brought out Claudio and Wheeler. And then that brought out Hangman, who had new music. I don't know if you caught that.
I did not, no.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, that didn't sound right. Like in the moment. And then I just saw people posting about it. So I actually haven't even gone back and listened to it.
Wow, because like I know he had used that old cowboy
from the get-go,
yeah, because I heard it in Revolution, the thing we watched today.
So we'll have to pay attention to that, see, because it seemed like people online were not loving it, but something like that can grow on you. But yeah, his music was pretty iconic,
Yeah, and I feel like Hangman, like that sort of post-match stuff, him fighting Moxley, that went on for a little bit too.
Yeah,
you know, I think they went like a good couple minutes after time. It seemed like.
Hangman got the barbed wire.
Oh yeah, and then made Moxley bleed from that. So obviously Moxley's got to fill his blood quota.
But yeah, solid show. Again, not as good as the few previous to last week, but pretty good stuff. Shit, we're rolling here. Shall we whip into some cans here real quick to end the show?
Let's do it.
Okay. What do you got?
All right.
I guess I could pull it up on my end here so I have the picture.
Yeah.
So for anyone who maybe wasn't listening earlier or what, we early on in our show we compared AEW wrestlers characters to Star Wars characters that were depicted on the Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Mountain Dew, etc. cans, promoting the Phantom Menace from 1999. And being that it's episode 99, and we did not plan it that way, but we wanted to kind of, revisit some older bits from our show. And this is one that we've put off for so long, and we don't even remember it anymore, but we're going to have some fun and revisit the exercise.
Yeah. So, to go through some of these, I think Anakin Skywalker was Cody.
I think that's right.
In Sebulba, he's two.
I think that might have been like Ricky Starks.
Okay, yeah, with the confidence. That actually held up well. Qui-Gon Jinn, that was oh man, like kind of a
fuck.
Like it was somebody noteworthy too.
Yeah.
It wasn't Hangman, it wasn't like, because I know the Brune Hako and the Viceroy, they were
the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Well, actually, so obviously, but the Viceroy's yet going to come up in our Pepsi One cans today.
Okay, So we did one of them. Watto was Taz.
Yes, and then
Jabba the Hutt was Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, and then Palpatine was Mastermind behind the shadows.
Did we use Tony Khan, or he was the Emperor, right?
He's the Emperor. Wasn't he like Dan Callis or something like that? Maybe.
Yeah.
And then R2D2.
It's like JR or something. I think we used one of the announcers, either JR or Tony.
Yeah. So we got C3PO coming up today. Darth Maul, I think, was Kenny.
Yeah. That's
Jar
right.
Jar was Marco.
Marco
Flint.
Yeah.
Flint. Mace Windu was.
I think it was Mox, wasn't it?
Mox. Yes. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Obi-Wan was
that Hangman?
It may have been. That makes the most sense. Because he sort of goes through the big tragedies. Qui-Gon, it kind of has the growth thing. Captain Panaka, Porsche Panaka.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Rick Oley.
No, yeah, Rick Oley. Yeah, I forget.
God, this was so long ago, man.
I'll have to say the destroyer droid was Jade Cargill.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. The Queen Amidala was. Because we have Queen Amidala and Padme, they're kind of two of the same. So maybe that would be like I don't know if Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa.
That
I mean, that was all
have,
we had to choose from back then, or Sheeta.
Yeah.
Oh, Sheeta may have been one that we just kind of didn't mention.
Yeah.
Maybe Sheeta was Rick Oley. Shmi Skywalker, that should be Rebel or Reba. Shmi Skywalker. And the battle droid was like, oh, I don't know. What about Jungle Boy? Jungle Boy, I guess didn't get one. Maybe he could be Captain Panaka. All right. So
we probably remembered a little over half, I'd say.
Yes. All right.
Well, and we'll have to revisit this next week if we remember and go back, and because it should be pretty easy. Like, I think we would have them in the episode description, right? Where we'll
we did. So we'd be able to skip right to it. We'll be able to hop right to it. So
and the way we used to do this was you would kind of read, a passage about the character, and I would know it ahead of time, and I would be thinking, and I would basically make my choice of who it is. But since we didn't prepare for this at all, we're just gonna kind of do it together here.
Yeah, we will do it together. So let's see if I can get our ones. I wish there was I could read the text on there, but
Rich said JR2D2.
JR2D2.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty great.
Yeah, I think it was either JR or Shivani, and then I think C3PO might.
But C3PO is coming up.
Oh, okay. Then we probably would have planned it for the other one, but
all right.
I feel like Shivani's definitely more of a C3PO.
So I'll just riff. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So our first Pepsi One can is Chancellor Valorum, who's played by Terrence Stamp in the movie, who was General Zod in Superman 2. Which that's a bit of a geeky ass movie, but yeah, he was the Supreme Chancellor of the Galactic Republic, who in the film, due to a vote of no confidence, lost his position due to some machinations organized by Palpatine. I think his first name is Finis, Finis Valorum, Finis Valorum. And then post chancellorship. I guess he has some things. I think he was in some cartoon. He was in the Clone Wars cartoon.
I remember there's some great name. Like, what's the planet that Obi-Wan's from? Wasn't that like Stu John? Yeah,
Stu John. So yeah, I think after this movie,
Stu John Lawson.
Yeah. After that, Valorum got knocked out. So who's going to be our Chancellor Valorum, the former leader, the weak, ineffectual leader who was disposed? Who you got?
I mean, that could be Cody Rhodes right now.
Yeah, it could be. Or Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, man.
QT.
Yeah, let's say QT, because he's still like behind the scenes doing shit,
Oh, yeah, he's still the leader of the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, and like he's like a producer as well, but I think QT sounds good here,
Yeah, that would be it. All right. Actually, so I can pull up the cans and I can read the text. I can see the C3PO one in this picture. So next we have C3PO in his completely armorless naked form. Constructed with spare parts and odd pieces of junk, this talkative protocol droid, even in unfinished state, is always eager to please. I don't know if that's a good description of his character. I feel like C3PO is always really like prissy. He's always like kind of, thinking about himself and complaining, and it's just like, oh, we're gonna die. What kind of trouble did you get me into? And he's just always like, just kind of not weighing everybody down, but just bitching and complaining and just got problems with everything. I don't think that qualifies as eager to please, but and C3PO's story throughout the Star Wars saga is I think he and R2D2 probably have easily probably had the most screen time out of any characters in the whole thing, certainly.
I'm gonna stick with Tony Schiavone. Like, if we're going with JR2D2, Tony, he's definitely more your upbeat, baby face,
I think Excalibur could be that. Or I think Excalibur, you already picked one for him. Maybe he was Rick Oley.
Oh, yeah, he might have been.
He might have been Rick Oley.
So I just found episode 10 was one. Just pulled up on my phone.
Oh, yeah, we forgot the Dark Order. Again, yeah.
Kind of like look. But yeah, I mean that's that was a very short entry on there, so that's all we got. Who's our destroyer droid?
John Silver.
All right, so that makes sense. John Silver's our destroyer droid there.
All right.
So which one would we have done with that? Is that Rick Oley?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Would we do two at a time?
No, the Rick Oley comes before the destroyer droid.
But would we do two at a time?
We would.
So maybe
the plot. So he had, Rick Oley, bigger deal than certainly I ever thought.
Oh yeah, he died.
So this will be Rick Oley.
Padme's tomb when Vader.
Oh yeah, I read that comic. That was a good comic.
The red eye saber. So yeah, Rick Oley.
Getting some live episode 10 takes here off my phone.
Welcome people to Coruscant. That's all he did. But he dies a quite heroic death.
I have no idea who I picked here.
Yeah, I have no idea who you picked either.
And all that stuff past the film. So, who is welcoming us to Coruscant? Rick Oley.
Excalibur.
There we go. Yeah.
Knew it.
So
let's listen to
my
this.
reasoning here, and I know we had Tony Schiavone as R2D2.
Oh, okay. So Shivani was R2D2.
Ooh, and what was JR? I guess JR gonna be C3PO.
But I think more than anything, it's just he was a pilot.
Oh, is JR gonna be Boss Nass?
Excalibur, I may have told you this, but he was the big commentator at PWG.
Okay, well.
I think JR might have be Boss Nass who's coming up. All right, onward.
Yes.
All right, Newt Gunray, the Viceroy. As a pawn to Darth Sidious, this Trade Federation Viceroy oversees the invasion of Naboo and is surprised at the power of resistance. He meets, this is kind of his big villain movie. He and Rune Hako are believed to be racist caricatures like many of the aliens in Star Wars. He's in episodes 2 and 3 in minor roles. I think he's in the big arena scene with the bugs with Count Dooku.
Oh yeah.
But then he gets fucking wiped by Darth Vader, like non-burnt Darth Vader. Where he wipes out him and all like the other supporting villains. Like they had no idea what to do with him, but just throw him in that room and just wait to get murdered. Who we got for Newt Gunray?
Well, I can't remember which of the young bucks I'd picked as the other guy, but I'll just say the other young buck.
Brandon Cutler. There we go.
Which one was more? This one was Newt. Newt was more the main of the
Yes,
two.
he was. Yes,
so I guess
was.
this was probably Matt Jackson, and then Nick was. What
Nick.
was the other one's name?
Rune Hako.
Rune Hako. Yeah, that's right.
All right. And then last, I guess not technically last, we'll kind of hold that here. We have Boss Nass. The protective leader of the Gungans. He agrees to help Queen Amidala fight the Trade Federation's invasion of Naboo. Wow, that's a pretty toothless description of him. They didn't talk about the or the planet core, or any of that stuff, or that he was, I think, another racist caricature in some movie called Gunga Din or something like that. Anywho, who we got for the bosses of Nass?
I don't even know. You got any ideas here?
I mean, it could be JR.
I guess it could be JR, but I'd already had. I mean, I guess if we had Shivani as R2D2, I guess I can't pick him again, right? But
yeah,
I feel like he makes much more sense as a C3PO than an R2D2. But
yes.
Oh, how about Paul White?
Oh yeah, yeah, perfect.
He's been an announcer. He's big and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Paul White.
Exactly.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find. I've got episode 9, the plot show up here. One of our early favorites. Yeah. That's the birth of Put That Cigarette Out.
Yeah.
But this would be Captain Panaka. Yeah. Here we go.
Corshi Panaka-E.
Wardlow.
Interesting.
So when
Interesting.
Shit me a brick. That is
MJF's protector.
Wow.
He's been very
Who is MJF?
You liked that.
Yeah.
Did you look up that he was loyal to Palpatine and becomes a mom?
No.
Oh my God!
All I looked up was
You were
gosh.
excited here.
And,
Yeah, MJF is another one.
Way better than you realize now.
He probably would have been Darth Maul in retrospect.
Probably. Oh yeah, easily. Well, actually, if he's protector, he would have been like Padme. or the queen or something like that. Because that's who he protects. If Captain Panaka is Wardlow, it would have to be that.
True.
Yeah. All
Shit.
right, we got one more. We have the
golden Yoda.
Yeah, so just a few little weird factoids about this. It was pretty rare to find, but here's what you got for it. There's two bits of text on the side of the can, and I'll read this first one. All right, come on here. Shit, can't see it. Hang on.
You're good, dog.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
You have found a gold Yoda can and have won $20.
Wow.
Subject to verification. To redeem your prize, call 1-800-652-1800 for details and official rules. Game ends September 15th, 1999. $20.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and then it says something like, I think it was in all forms too. It was in Pepsi One, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, and Mountain Dew.
Wow.
What's it say? Size matters not. That's why this Jedi Master knows the smallest things can make the biggest difference in the troubled galaxy. You know, Yoda, he's the little thing that is now baby somehow. Jedi Master was a puppet, and then in the prequels was a CGI thing that flipped around. Who we got for this? I kind of have an idea.
I think we'd always kind of had one pegged, and that would be Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was going to say, and I think that's a great way to close it out too.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, AEW probably wouldn't have been a thing without him. You know, he was their first major star that really kind of got people in on this. First world champion. You know, still very relevant today. You know, he's had some ups and downs, but he's also in his 50s. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely fitting. And it kind of closing the show here after we talked about his WWF debut in 1999, which you'll have to watch because it's definitely a classic segment for sure.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to check it out. So real quick, just a thing. So that golden Yoda can worth $20, right? For that. So I'm looking at some resale values on eBay. One's $30, an unopened one is $75.
Wow.
And there's a sealed one with no soda for 40. So yeah, they're less than 100. But yeah, I remember that was like the Willy fucking Wonka of soda.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
All that. But
how about it?
How about it?
Well, do you want to close this sucker up or what?
Yeah, let's sew her up and then take away the anesthetic. And bring it back to life because it wasn't dead.
Yep. Okay.
Good
well,
deal.
I guess next time we'll be talking to you will be episode 100.
I know that'll be a big one.
Fucker. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to get our ducks in a row for that for sure.
Yeah. Like we said, we'll obviously be reviewing AEW Revolution, hopefully with a special guest or two, and hopefully having other guests riddled throughout. I mean, we'll kind of have two parts, whether we actually break it up or not, but we'll have the Revolution review and then just other shenanigans and look backs and people to talk to and fun to be had. But
shenanigans.
JCP, Eddie is Jabba. Holy fuck. Yeah. I'd like to I have reasonings for all of these.
Oh, yeah. We were fat shaming hardcore.
Go back. Yeah. That probably would have been episode. Did we start this on episode 1?
No, 2, I think.
Okay, then that would have probably been like episode 4 or 5. You can go down. It's perfectly timed out on the timestamp. If you want to check it out, you can hear me, I guess, fat shame Eddie Kingston. But yeah, that was definitely a fun exercise, an early part of the DNA of our show, which we were watching like
Phantom Menace.
1,
yeah. That
like
was what we were doing.
A week or two before we recorded the first episode or something.
Yeah. No, well, we recorded footage of it, and you can listen to us talk about that on the first episode. As a matter of fact,
there you go. Well, hey, thanks for all those who tuned in, commented,
enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, we love you.
Yes, we love you.
Love each other. Be nice. Be cool. Don't be a penis.
All right. See you in 3 digits.
See ya. Bye.
Later.
Bye. 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 Bye.